Hello and welcome back to my channel. So thank you for everybody joining me today. It is absolutely roasting today. I think it's 30 degrees plus, 32 degrees in some parts of my cabin, but it actually feels a bit cooler than it does outside in the sun. It's just roasting out there at the minute. And just when you do a maintenance, when you've got those sort of temperatures outside, because I've insulated it so well, it maintains in here, but it does feel a lot cooler in here, which is really nice. But you do worry about your tarantulas and inverts, what you've got, just in case it gets a little bit too hot for some of them that like it on the lower end. But what I do is I put those ones lower down in the cabin, because obviously heat rises, and they all seem to be fine. But the one thing I worry about is the water. Making sure they've got a water source and a water dish, and what you have to worry or watch out for is stop over spraying when it's quite hot, because then you get that steam effect, and in turn, whether it cooks your tarantula or not, but it does actually make them a bit lethargic and they go a bit weird over those days. So I keep a water dish in one spot and it just evaporates within 2 days in the little bottle caps, and then I go back to it and I give a light misting which cools the actual enclosure down, and I'll maintain it that way. But it does mean in these temperatures I've got to be in here every single day, going through every enclosure, just making sure everything's up to scratch. But the reason for the video today is starting to go back through some of the original unboxes that you've seen me do months ago and just giving you updates. So I've picked one today that's finally I managed to feed last week, and I just thought, why didn't I film it? And I was just like, ah, you idiot. So I'll see if I could try and feed it today. Might not get a shot of it, but I'm just going to show you what it's done in the enclosure, just if any of you have got them out there, see how well my enclosure's working, and then just to give you some info for yourselves if you do get them. So what I've got to show you today is the Darmarchus Workmani, the Orange Legged Trapdoor spider, and it's in this enclosure that I did. And you can still see it's drying out, but it's still a little bit moist in here. I missed at the top. Sometimes I soak one half of the enclosure away from where it's done its tunnel, and then I fill up the water dish as well. So let me flip it around and we'll get in and I'll see if we can feed this one. Right, so here we have it. You can see the enclosure, and you can see obviously this hole here, this is where it is. So I'll talk about that in a second. But if you remember in the first video, I put a little annotation at the top, and it did a trapdoor here, and then it destroyed the trapdoor after about a week, maybe 2 weeks, because it did it very, very quickly, and I was quite surprised. And it's got a tunnel going right down here, fully webbed up, but then it's closed that off and it doesn't use it this side. But what I've noticed is it's done another tunnel, and that goes all the way down at the back. If you see there's the top entrance, and it goes all the way down to the bottom, and then it goes left and then back into the center, back up to where it was originally. And it sits here if it's hungry, and I managed to feed it by enticing a cricket just at the top, letting its legs touch the front of the web, and it bolted straight up so quick, jumped out and grabbed it, and then literally just darted back down. So this one isn't doing a trap door as such, it's just done a tunnel. And you can see it's dark in there. I actually think it's sat at the bottom, so hopefully we'll be able to get a shot of it darting up, so I can see if I can get some footage. So as I said with the enclosure, I keep one half dry, and then I soak one half at the top of the substrate and let it work its way down, and maybe the next day I'll do the same, and I'll continually do that for a few days until the moisture's reached further enough down on the enclosure, then I'll stop. And it just gives it a different temperature setting via the web all the way down in the chamber. But then if I find it out on this side more, then obviously I know to stop doing the moisture. Or what I tend to see with my previous ones I've had of these species, if they don't like that, they'll then do another tunnel back this way, and then I'll leave it more dry. But I always leave a water dish. Never seen it come up and drank, but I just see missed it this way, bit of moisture, and hopefully it's fine. But it is established, it's doing well, and it's eating. So I've done it right. The way I put it in here, and I didn't see it for 2 months, wouldn't feed for 2.5 months. So I was worried, so I started taking off bits of the dirt, and I found the webbing chamber, and I could see movement when I touched the webbing chamber, so I knew it was fine, so I left it alone. And then one day I come in and just saw this. Didn't even notice, because I had this at the back of the wall, so I didn't notice it was doing it on the way up. And I do actually think it's coming up just there. So I'm going to try and see if I can feed it. It might actually be hungry, so let's just get on with it, see if I can feed it. The light does scare it and it runs back down, but let's just see. Right, so I've got a cricket and I'm going to do exactly the same and just be patient. So it may take, I think it took me about 10 minutes last time, so I may have to speed this on, but let's just hope and see if you can get something here. Keep an eye on that tunnel just in case. What's he doing head banging? See if I can put it in a bit further first, entice it. I can see movement right down at the bottom, but you're not going to be able to see. I need it to wriggle its legs a little more. It may not work today, but I'll keep trying. I'll try over the next few days to see if I can get some footage. And it's actually gotten some size, so I think it's molted as well. But it's extremely, when it wants to eat, it's so food aggressive, it is brilliant. It is down there at the bottom, but it's just not moving. And I'm not letting this cricket go because I don't want it to run down in, because then it will eat but it won't come up. If you keep doing that, then they find they can just stay at the bottom till food comes. They won't actually come up to the top, hence the reason why it probably hasn't done a trapdoor on the top, or it's just not taken enough time to build a trapdoor. It could do, but it's been like this now for a couple of weeks. It's not attempted to do a lid, but I'll still see if it will. Be a bit more vigorous. Like he's stuck. Okay, so today you can see that it's actually there. I don't know why that's not going to focus. It's right there in the tunnel, so I'm going to try and see if I can get this to come out for you guys. I'm going to try and be quiet and hold on to this one. Come in. Oh, it's right there. It's come up, but I think the torch is putting it off. Oh, it's just shot straight back down again. I nearly had it there. Oh, no way. I nearly had it. Gutted. It's the torch. It doesn't like the light. Nope. Doesn't matter how much longer it's going to take me. I'm going to do it until I get you some footage. So finally, we managed to get some footage of this, and I'm not going to lie, it took me over another further month of consistently trying and you can see it's not there at the bottom, but I'm just trying at the minute to see if it'll come up, and it does come up, so you do manage to get to see it. And I'll have to slow down the footage because it is lightning fast, but I persisted for a month. Sometimes it ran right up to the top to get the cricket, and then all of a sudden ran back down. So if I breathed too hard or if I hit the enclosure with the tongs too much, it just went down, and it takes an absolute age to reset. You can actually see the shadow now at the bottom of the hole, so it is actually coming around and it's coming up. But you can see what I mean by the enclosure, so I've let it dry out now slightly on that side as the temperature's gone down, so it's not in the 30s anymore. So after this I will top up the water dish and I will just give it a light misting at the top. But my main concern is getting you some footage. So I can see it's in there now at this moment. It's slowly coming up, but I've not given up at all, and it is super fast. There we go, you can just slightly see it. You will see it in a minute, but how much you see it is just super fast. So I'm going to try and see if I can slow it down enough, but I don't give up. So it took me over a month and I managed to get you to see it. So I do leave the cricket in there sometimes and it will take, but here we go. I think it's coming up a little bit more. It's about to get ready. If you look closely, you should be able to see a leg in a second. Right, so we get ready. I'll try and zoom in a little bit. You should be able to see the leg just popping up in a second now. Wow, that was just so quick. So I've tried to slow it down for you here, but this is the best look I can get for you. It's took me over 2 months to get this for you, and it just launches forward. Look at it, you can see the orange coloration on the legs, but it has definitely grown, but it has got some serious aggression when it attacks. It just wants to get straight back down in the dark. So unfortunately this isn't a spider that you're going to see a lot. If you set it up right, it will be underground permanently all the time, but you can see the effort I put in to get you some visuals of this over 2 months, but that's all you're going to get from that one. So there you have it. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one.